They say Unilag is more than a school. It is a kingdom of trials. A place where innocence can be stolen in the dark corners of the hostel, where the wealthy and the poor sit side by side, and where destinies collide in lecture halls. And among all the stories carried on the Harmattan wind, none is as unforgettable as that of Adaora, the girl who walked into the lion's den with nothing but her purity, and Chike, the hunter whose charm had never missed its prey. Adaora was not born with gold, but with grit. In her home in Mushin, she was known as Ene Nchekwa, the daughter who guards hope. Her mother's palms were hardened from years of selling vegetables in the market, her father's back bent from carpentry jobs that never paid enough. Still, when Adaora's admission letter to the University of Lagos arrived, joy flooded their small one-room home. She had become the torchbearer of the family dream. Stepping onto campus for the first time, Adaora's eyes drank in the towering Senate building, the endless movement of students, and the constant buzz of Unilag life. Her maroon thrift blouse and worn sandals made her look like a shadow in the crowd, yet her spirit burned brighter than any. She whispered to herself, "I will not fail. I will not be distracted. I will not be broken." But destiny was listening. As Adaora made her way to her first lecture, the crowd parted, and there he stood, Chike, tall, broad-shouldered, skin glowing like polished bronze, smile sharp enough to cut through steel. He leaned lazily against a car surrounded by laughing girls. His reputation had already traveled through campus corridors. Chike the charmer, breaker of hearts, hunter of fresher girls. And in that moment, his eyes found her. Adaora's steps faltered. She felt a chill crawl up her spine. She had no idea that from this moment, her resolve would be tested more than ever before. When their eyes locked, Chike smiled. Not his usual careless grin, but something sharper. He had spotted his next challenge. And Adaora? She had just stepped into a game she didn't know had already begun. They say the smile of a hunter is never just a smile. It is bait. And Chike's smile had lured more hearts than the waves of Bar Beach pulled shells to shore. On that hot afternoon, beneath the shade of the faculty building, his eyes locked on Adaora like a hawk spotting prey. Adaora tried to ignore it. She clutched her books tighter to her chest and walked faster toward her lecture hall. But something in that look unsettled her, like a drumbeat echoing at the edge of her spirit. She had heard whispers of him already, how he knew the right words to say, the right gifts to buy, the right promises to make. Many fresher girls had entered Unilag with heads full of ambition, only to leave with broken hearts and shattered confidence. By the end of her first lecture, Chike was waiting outside. He leaned against the wall, arms folded, his white shirt crisp and fitted, his cologne announcing his presence before he spoke. Hey, fresher, he said with a lazy drawl. You walk like you own the whole campus. Adaora froze. Her instinct told her not to reply, but her manners wouldn't let her ignore him completely. Good afternoon, she said softly, lowering her gaze and trying to walk past. But Chike was not one to be ignored. He stepped in front of her path. You're new here, right? Let me show you around. Unilag can be dangerous if you don't have the right guide. His words dripped like honey, smooth and sweet, but there was steel beneath. Adaora swallowed hard, forcing a small smile. Thank you, but I can find my way. She brushed past him quickly, her heart racing. Behind her, Chike chuckled, a low, dangerous sound. He wasn't angry, he was intrigued. For the first time in a long while, his bait hadn't worked, and in that moment, he made a silent vow. This one will not escape me. That night in her hostel, as Adaora whispered prayers over her books, she didn't know Chike was already plotting. He had never lost before, and to him, Adaora wasn't just another conquest. She was about to become his obsession. They say the cleverest hunters never chase outright. They wait, they tempt, they circle until their prey steps into the trap willingly. And Chike, who had charmed fresher girls into surrender countless times, sharpened his smile like a blade. But Adaora was no ordinary girl, and this was no ordinary game. Adaora stepped out of her afternoon lecture, her books weighing heavy in her arms. The sun burned hot above the palm trees, and sweat prickled her forehead. She adjusted her faded maroon hoodie and walked briskly, hoping to escape the press of the crowd. Then, as though he had appeared from thin air, Chike was suddenly at her side. His shirt was crisp white, his cologne subtle but commanding. In his hand was a chilled bottle of water, condensation dripping down its sides. "You look tired," he said smoothly, holding it out with an easy grin. "Take this." Adaora's steps faltered. Her anxious eyes glanced at the bottle, then at the hunter's smile. A flicker of temptation passed, but her resolve was stronger. She shook her head gently,
No, thank
lips
you.
tightening. "No, thank you," she said softly, her voice steady but polite. She hugged her books closer to her chest as if they could shield her from his charm. Chike chuckled, slipping the bottle into his other hand as he walked easily beside her. His tall frame matched her every step, his gold wristwatch catching the sunlight. "You think I bite?" he teased, tilting his head so that his eyes caught hers. "I just want to be your friend. You'll need someone who knows this place. Unilag can swallow people whole." His words were light, playful, but his tone carried an edge, like a drumbeat beneath the melody. Adaora's eyes flashed with quiet determination. Without another word, she quickened her pace, slipping into a cluster of laughing students heading toward the faculty building. In a moment, her maroon hoodie vanished into the moving crowd. Chike slowed, his smile unbroken. He stood tall, watching her disappear, his eyes narrowing with a hunter's patience. Alone now, Chike slipped his hands into his pockets. His chuckle was low, dangerous, a sound meant only for himself. "You can run, Adaora," he murmured, his confident eyes burning with intrigue. "But you can't hide forever."